She claimed that it was just a short business trip to Zurich for 3 days, round trip. I said no, not because I didn't trust her, or at least that's what I told myself, but because her explanation was too polished, too precise, as if she had rehearsed it several times in front of a mirror to make it sound. It's ordinary. I've never trusted things that seem too mundane. When we got to the gate, I didn't bolt back to my desk or dive into work. I lingered there, watching, waiting, until the doors closed behind her. Only then did I grab the folder I'd put together the night before, stuffed with snapshots, crumpled receipts, and a number I dug out from under the car seat. I already knew where she was headed, and I knew who'd be sitting beside her. A captain, a coworker, one of those smug, showy types from a background unit. Always too loud, always laughing at his own dumb jokes, always standing way too close to the crew. I noticed it 6 months back. Her showers got longer, her eyes glued to the screen, even while we ate. And just like that, she started calling me darling again, like she'd suddenly remembered she was supposed to play the part of a devoted wife. I wasn't clueless. Far from it. I watched her like a seasoned investigator at a fresh crime scene. And yeah, I followed her. For 2 whole days, I tracked everything. Every bite they ordered. Every door they walked through. Every step out into the street. I even made note of that little velvet pouch she kept tucked beneath her coat, like some kind of secret. I didn't bust in or throw a scene. That's rookie stuff. I play the long game. If you're going to draw out the pain, you only get one clean shot at it. The night before I made my move, I slipped a single photo under their door. Just one. Her, perched on Ethan's lap in the hotel lounge, looking like the lead actress in someone else's romance. His hand disappearing under her jacket, my jacket, still bearing my initials on the back. She didn't get a wink of sleep after that. Neither did I. By morning, I was already planted in the lobby, calm and still, like part of the furniture. She finally came down, hiding behind oversized sunglasses, like that'd help. Ethan trailed behind, eyes darting, nerves frayed. As they passed, I stood, handed her the folder, and said, quietly but clearly, "It starts now." Her hands shook. Inside that folder, divorce papers, already signed, already final. She tried to speak, lips parting, searching for words. I cut her off. Then I turned to Ethan. "Might be a good time to polish up that resume," I told him. "Your HR department just received a full report. Photos, recordings, and that NDA you conveniently ignored." His face turned ghost white. Violating corporate trust? That kind of mistake doesn't end with a scolding. I didn't stay long to observe the consequences. I took the next flight. By the time they returned, I was gone. No calls, no forwarding address, no emails. I spent the next 5 years off the grid. First, a tiny fishing village on the coast of Panama. Then, a tucked-away apartment in the quieter corners of Osaka. Eventually, a weathered cabin buried deep in the Vermont woods. Money bought the silence I needed. Isolation kept the questions at bay. I didn't feel victorious, just still, like the woods after a long, violent storm. That quiet stayed with me until last week, when the letter came. No return address, no subject line, just a grainy photo of a hospital room, monitors blinking, tubes snaking around the bed. She looked worn down, aged beyond her years, eyes shut, a harsh scar cutting across her chest. Beneath the image, a short note scribbled by hand. She's slipping away. Thought you should know. But I didn't focus on her. My eyes locked onto the small figure standing beside the bed. A child's silhouette, tiny fingers wrapped around hers. Only, we never had a child. I zoomed in, stared harder. Those eyes. God, those were my father's eyes. My own blood. She'd been pregnant and kept it from me. Suddenly, the silence I had so carefully crafted stopped feeling like peace. It screamed, silent, suffocating, like sound swallowed by the void. Her betrayal hurt. The lies cut deep. But learning she hid our child, that hit a place I didn't know was still raw. I booked the first flight out, sat in the back, eyes wide open the whole night. When I landed, I didn't head straight to the hospital. Instead, I made my way to the registrar's office. The name on the birth certificate, Ezra James Langley. No father listed. He was 8. She hadn't written my name, but the boy's face, his eyes, the shape of his jaw. There was no mistaking it. He was mine. I couldn't hear what he was saying through the glass, but I could feel the rhythm, the soft cadence of his voice, a lullaby meant for someone who was slipping away. I stayed until the lights dimmed and the room fell into quiet shadow. I never stepped inside. That chapter, revenge, bitterness, had been closed years ago. But revenge doesn't mend what's broken. It doesn't soothe. It only leaves clean, quiet scars. And so I vanished again. Not for her, for him. When he turns 18, a plain envelope with no return address will arrive in his hands. Inside, he'll find the truth. Just enough of it to piece things together. Because sometimes, love shows up late, and sometimes, love is imperfect. Justice isn't always noble, but sometimes, it's unavoidable, especially when trust shatters behind the polished walls of a Zurich suite. If there's one thing I've come to understand, it's this. Vanishing completely, no traces, no final words, can echo louder than any act of revenge. Sometimes, absence is the most resounding presence of all.